Project management uses a constant and repetitive cycle of starting and ending processes. While projects can become sustained operations, project management is just the design and construction of a framework and repetition. The best practices of project management is how to optimize those practices and those processes used to create and complete the project. The use of this optimization is considered matured project management. Authentic leadership is a type of leadership where the genuine behavior of a person is the focus of the leadership method, meaning that the methods and components of leadership are natural behaviors to the leader. This lends itself to intuitive design, which is based on the recognition of an optimized path. Understanding how these mechanics work can better help to explain how to arrive at best practices. In the project management methodology, there are 5 phases of project management: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. An intuitive perspective is that this is knowing that there is a project and finding out as much about it as possible, then figuring out how to put that project into practice, then actually putting that project into practice, then adjusting the execution of that project until you are either ready to hand it off or the project reaches a natural conclusion because of the extinction of a vital component of the project. Project Management Institute and other institutes of project management seek to provide the analytical tools to optimize each part of this process. They do this by using analytical charts like the Pareto chart, which are often used to identify problems by highlighting their symptoms. They also use and provide risk management tools like an issue log for identifying and remedying tasks. These tools are here to present a mind map and tested method for practices of project management. They would assert that these are currently the best available practices and thus the best practices of project management. We reach these conclusions by case studies of leaders who have faced problems and how using their first intuitive method either succeeded or failed to produce results. We can either be proactive or reactive to these developed practices. We can look at this by having our own theoretical project and how to go about it. I like to use a house as an example because it's something easy to explore and understand on your own, because you often have that example directly available to you. The decision to build a house is marked by a stake, often literally. That stake or flag was a marker of ownership. In project management, you are a stakeholder. Anyone who puts effort, time, or money into the project has a stake in that project. You would approach and recognize their position or register them to the project. With this, you have initiated the project. You then have to plan the actual construction of the house, how the utilities of the house will be placed, how the actual spacing and structure will be held up. You have to know what you want and have to specify the items. This is your work breakdown structure. Once you have your plan, you can then execute the plan. You do this by getting the materials of the house's construction delivered, workers employed, and sitting out the critical path. After the execution, you monitor risks or problems and correct them by assigning them to an expert of that field. You don't ask an electrician to fix a leaky faucet. You control the flow of work by making adjustments to the non-critical items of the house's construction. The placement of a couch isn't tantamount as compared to the installation of the floor below it. Once the house is complete, you are directly responsible for the sustainment as the primary stakeholder, as the owner. The workers are there only for the project, and while they have responsibility to what they constructed, they warrant no reprisal for the directions you gave them. This is the intuitive approach of how project management practices were developed. Construction did a lot to develop project management, and so these terms and jargon are often used in the field because of that.